This video was sponsored by World of Warships. If you, Jimmy, have ever wanted to sail the ocean blue in 1942, then find out more after the video. When the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, as we all know, it caught America off guard. The attack hurt, and the surprise of it shocked the entire country into mobilization. But mobilization takes time. The Pacific Ocean is big. So big that even after the day that will live in infamy, for half a year both sides just kinda shook their hands at each other while getting ready. In that 6-month time, Japan was feeling pretty cocky. They thought the US would be easy pushovers. So, in June 1942, they decided to go knock the Americans off of their base on the island of Midway. It was to be a great victory for the Empire. Spoiler, it wasn't. It was not at all. The Battle of Midway resulted in a resounding Japanese defeat. All 4 carriers they had in the battle were lost. Literally 6 months into the war, this was the turning point for when Japan started to fall. So, what if in an alternate timeline Japan wasn't incompetent and with their twice as big navy actually won a victory against America at the Battle of Midway? How would this change the course of the war? Well, it is an alternate 1942. Let's say somehow, Japan has won the battle. What specifically needs to change for this to be accomplished? Well, Jimmy, there were so many things the Japanese did wrong during the battle that I'm not going to bore you with every specific mistake that resulted in their fleet going kaplooey. Japan just really overestimated their capabilities against America. So, alternate timeline. Let's just say that all of the American fleet at this battle is absolutely destroyed. The greatest threat of all occurs. The Japanese are now primed to invade the island of Midway. Phase 2 has begun. And just a few days after the American Navy is obliterated, Japanese forces storm the beaches of Midway, and they're mowed down. Just entirely annihilated. You see, even if Japan did somehow win the naval battle of Midway, there was no way they could ever actually take the island. In the Pacific War, even if Japan had more forces defending an island, the Americans would still take it. So a better equipped and bigger American defense against an unprepared, poorly executed amphibious assault by Japan just results in failure. I was going to say at least the Battle of Midway would be a political failure for America, however after Japan flops onto the beaches of Midway, I'd say it kinda evens out. A failure at Midway would be a kick in the shins, but the next inevitable naval victory against Japan makes everyone feel better. So what's the lesson here, kiddies? What's the point? The thing I find interesting in history is sometimes there simply is situations that are never changed. My cat is never going to shut up at 3 a.m., and Japan was always going to lose the Pacific War the second they decided to attack the United States. It couldn't replace the fleet it had, and that was its ultimate downfall. For every ship Japan sunk, America could replace it with 5. For every ship America sunk, Japan's fleet just got smaller. We often have a misconception of the war in the Pacific that the war was of equals, when it wasn't. From 1942 to 1945, Japan was trying to stop a boulder from crushing it. As much energy or men or planes it threw at the situation, the giant boulder was going to fall and kill Japan eventually. It was just a bad luck of cards. The best strategy to winning the game was simply never playing in the first place. This video was sponsored by World of Warships. For those that don't know, World of Warships is an online multiplayer game where you command a fleet featuring some of history's most iconic war vessels. There's a diverse range of ship classes you can choose from to win against players online. It's a great time if you like ships, or enjoy watching the ships of your enemies sink slowly into the abyss. Anyway, Wargaming came to me to promote a new offer for new players. By clicking on the link down below, the first 300 viewers that use the code PLAYWARSHIPS2018 can get 250 doubloons, don't drop them, 1 million credits, and the HMS Campbellton premium ship along with 1 port slot and 3 days of premium game time. So if this piques your interest, then click on the link down below to get started. If it doesn't, then why did you just watch this whole thing? This is Cody of Alternate History Hub.